never existed. Timeless truth discovered by Lord Buddha will shatter your reality. The ultimate wake-up call. What if I told you that everything you think you know about yourself is wrong? What if the you that wakes up every morning, the you that experiences joy and suffering, the you that makes decisions and forms relationships, what if none of that actually exists? Today, I'm going to share with you one of the most revolutionary insights ever discovered about human consciousness. This isn't just philosophy. This is a precise, scientific understanding of the mind that was revealed 2,500 years ago by Lord Buddha, who saw through the greatest illusion of existence: feel, soul. In our modern world, we're drowning in anxiety, depression, and an endless search for meaning. We chase success, relationships, and experiences, hoping they'll fill the emptiness inside. But what if I told you that the very foundation of all human suffering, the sense of being a separate self struggling against the world, is nothing more than a sophisticated trick of consciousness? The Buddha didn't just teach meditation or moral guidelines. He uncovered the actual mechanism of how consciousness creates the illusion of selfhood, moment by moment. This understanding isn't just ancient wisdom, it's the key to ending psychological suffering entirely. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how your mind constructs the illusion of you through a precise process that happens thousands of times per second. More importantly, you'll discover why this knowledge has the power to fundamentally transform your relationship with reality itself. This isn't about becoming a Buddhist. This is about waking up to what you actually are. The Great Deconstruction. Who are you? Let's start with something simple. What's your name? Now imagine you're in France, and someone calls you by the French version of your name. Would you respond? Probably not immediately, right? So what is your name really? It's just a sound vibration that you've learned to associate with this thing you call yourself. Your name isn't you. It's just a label. A sound pattern arises as ear consciousness. Okay, so maybe your body is you? But think about this. Have you ever actually seen your own body as a complete whole? You've never seen your own face without a mirror. When you touch your hand, you feel softness, but that's just a sensation of touch. Who decided to call it your hand? Here's the mind bender. Your body is just as external entity as the tree outside your window or the book on your table. You experience your body through the same sensory processes you use to experience everything else. Your body is not you. It's another perception. So if it's not your name or your body, surely your mind is you, right? This is where the Buddha's insight becomes revolutionary. Everything, and I mean everything, you've ever experienced has come through just 6 channels: seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, and thinking. Take a moment right now. Try to find any experience that didn't come through one of these 6 doors of senses. You can't. Can you? That new car you're proud of? It's not actually a car in your experience. It's a perception or a thought. It's eye consciousness, the visual patterns, ear consciousness, the sound car, smell consciousness, that new car scent, body consciousness, the texture of the seats, all fusing together as the mind consciousness to create the thought, my new car. Here's the timeless truth the Buddha discovered. You have no way of knowing if anything exists out there. All you have are these streams of consciousness: seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, and thinking, arising and passing away moment by moment due to the sensory functions. The external world you think you inhabit is actually a mental construct. Lord Buddha explained this process as chithina niyati loko, meaning that you experience a mental construct world created due to sensory faculties. The consciousness factory. how you are manufactured. Now we get to the core of the Buddha's discovery. He called it Thinnan Sangati Passo, the fusion of eye, ear, and touch, including taste and smell. Consciousnesses create the contact which leads to mind consciousness. Here's how it works. Every moment, form vibrations, what Buddha called Rupa, arise. These are your basic sensory consciousnesses. As an example, color pattern emerges as a vibration as the eye consciousness. Simultaneously, name vibrations, Nāma, arise. This vibration includes memories, emotions, and mental formations. When the form vibrations equal to the name vibrations, the name vibration spontaneously arises simultaneously with the form vibration as resonance occurs. Buddha called it as samananthara, and we use the modern word telepathization in this context. These two types of vibrations don't just coexist. The form and the name vibration fuse together and create a brand new vibration, mind consciousness or mind spark. In Buddha's terms, this process is explained as Nāma-Rūpa Pachchaya vinjanan. But here's where it gets truly mind-blowing. This process happens so fast, thousands of times per second, that you don't notice the individual moments. It's like a movie, individual frames flashing by so quickly that you see continuous motion. Each moment of mind consciousness arises and immediately ceases, leaving no trace. But the speed creates an illusion of continuity, like you're the same person who woke up this morning, the same person who was born decades ago. Within each flash of mind consciousness, there's an underlying power, a sense of existence, of being here. Because these moments arise so rapidly, this power feels continuous. This is what we mistake for the soul, for the permanent self. But the Buddha saw through this illusion. There is no continuous self, just rapid-fire moments of consciousness creating the mirage of existence. There's no one controlling this process, no central commander. It's just a natural phenomenon, like waves on the ocean. Because we don't understand this mechanism, we create duality. I am here, the world is there. I am the perceiver, and everything else is what I perceive. This sense of separation is the root of all suffering. When there's a perceiver, there's always someone who can be hurt, someone who can lose, someone who can die. The Great Liberation, when you disappear. Here's where the Buddha's teaching becomes practical transformation. When someone truly understands this mechanism, not just intellectually, but experientially, something profound happens. The underlying power that creates the sense of existence begins to diminish. As this happens, the illusion of being a separate self starts to dissolve. This isn't theory, this is a direct, observable process. As the power of the mind consciousness vibration weakens, the perceiver, the one who suffers, begins to dissolve and slowly disappear. What remains? Pure awareness without a center. Raw sensations of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, thinking, but no one experiencing them. Thoughts still arise, all activities continue, but there's no craving, no aversion, no delusion, because there's no separate self to crave or push away. This is what the Buddha called the intrinsic nature of awakened consciousness, anidasana vinjana or apatithitha vinjana. In the deepest realization, even the concept of consciousness becomes irrelevant. Consciousness implies separation, something being conscious of something else. When the perceiver dissolves completely, we can't even call it consciousness anymore. The Buddha called this non-vibration, not because it's nothing, but because it's beyond all the fluctuations and separations that create the world of experience. This is the end of the cycle of birth and death, not because the body doesn't die, but because there's no one left to be born or to die. A person who realizes and felt this completely, called an arahat, is no longer what we would call a being in the conventional sense. They've transcended all realms of existence while appearing to live an ordinary life. They've become the non-vibration itself. Your invitation to wake up. So here's where we are. You've just been shown the mechanism behind the greatest magic trick ever presented, the creation of the self. Every moment, the consciousness is manufacturing the illusion of being a separate person in a world of separate things. But now you know the secret. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? You might think, but I don't feel this existence power you're talking about. That's because your mind is so active, so filled with thoughts and stories, that this underlying power of the vibration is hidden. But it's there. It's what makes you feel like you're alive and exist as a continuous being. This isn't about believing something new. This is about investigating your own direct experience through penetrative insight. Start paying attention to how each sensory faculty arises as a vibration and how mind-consciousness spark arise as a result. See the process of arising and passing of sensations, thoughts, and perceptions. Notice how each moment of experience appears and disappears without leaving a trace as a natural phenomena. The Buddha didn't offer you another belief system or another identity to adopt. He offered you complete freedom from the prison of selfhood, freedom from the anxiety of having to protect and defend a self that was never there in the first place. This understanding has the power to end psychological suffering entirely. Not by getting rid of pain. Pain is just another sensation, but by dissolving the one who suffers through realization. The question isn't whether this is true. The question is whether you're ready to investigate it for yourself. Are you ready to discover what you actually are when you stop believing in what you think you are? If this resonates with you, don't just watch and move on. Sit quietly and investigate your own experience. Look for this sense of continuous existence. Notice how each moment of consciousness arises and passes away. Pay attention to the mechanism the Buddha described. This isn't just information, it's an invitation to wake up from the dream of separation and discover the peace that was always already here, before you ever appeared. The truth is waiting. The only question is, are you ready to see it? Remember, the Buddha didn't ask you to believe him. He simply said, "Ehipasiko, come and see for yourself." The invitation is open. The path is clear. What are you waiting for? Awaken to the timeless truth within, and be liberated from illusion.